Good evening. Today I'm going to show you a couple of different things, but the main thing is we're going to be planting pumpkins. And if you've watched any of my seed planting or garden planting videos, or maybe any of my videos, you know that I absolutely adore pumpkins, and I have a slight addiction to them. So growing them, decorating with them, all the things. I just absolutely love eating them. I love the taste of pumpkins. So I'm going to put them all up on the hill where the bees are. I'm going to take you and show you the new home for the baby chicks that we hatched, and tell you about a skunk that got on our property and attacked our baby chickens. First off, we're so excited. We have 7 days, and really we started this countdown at like 5 o'clock in the evening, so in about an hour this is going to turn down to 6 days for the big hatching. Here are our ducks in their makeshift pond that my husband makes for them, because we love to sit at this at this little fire here in the evenings this time of year. They love it, and they get spoiled with worms here, so they hang out literally all the time. I'm going to be spreading some, just like hand sprinkling, not really doing a like burying them so much in the food forest. And these are all seeds that kind of just would have self-sown on their own if I already had the plants doing its thing in there, so I'm not too worried about that. But here are our baby chicks. It smells so badly over here. It smells so badly. The skunk has definitely been here. It's so gross. Okay, so here are our original babies that I got earlier, and the turkeys are getting bigger. Okay, so this morning I woke up and I was smelling, and I was like, man, it really smells like skunk. Like, what is that? And it was just faint enough where I was like, maybe, the dogs got sprayed or something like that. And so we're going about our business, doing our stuff today. And I come out here, check on these guys, and bring the new baby chicks out here. And it smells so bad right here, like really, really strongly. And there was a hole just a little bit in the fence over here, and I closed that up. I fixed it. And then there was a baby, like not a complete, like a little bit older than a baby skunk. It wasn't like needed to be like newly out of the house on its own baby skunk around the barn here. And like you can see it from the chick area. And I assume that he made the hole and wasn't able to get in. And the racket he was making, probably the dogs heard, and then they killed him. And it smells so bad. But I am just so thankful for the dogs that we have, because they have really, they've proved their worth over and over and over again. And this is one of those times where I'm glad that we have guardians taking care of our animals throughout the day and throughout the night while we're sleeping. You guys gonna go say hi? Okay, guys, have fun. I'm gonna go plant seeds. So having a really sturdy nursery is a really important thing, because there's nothing more attractive to a predator than a bunch of baby animals with no protector. And so we make sure that nursery is really secure, and if there's ever any problems, we fix it right away. Okay, so I've got seeds. My little basket didn't fit this time, so I got more seeds now, or a bigger basket for my seeds. We're gonna start in the food forest, and I'm just gonna toss seeds around. This is my favorite way to sow seeds. As much as I enjoy my garden, planting seeds is not my favorite thing. I don't like planting seeds in trays. I don't like planting seeds in the garden. It's just tedious. It's not my favorite. I do it almost daily, but it's not my favorite. My favorite is planting plants that already kind of are established, and then also just sitting and enjoying the garden for obvious reasons. But in order to get the end result, you got to do the work. Okay, so I wanted to get some dwarf sunflowers for my vegetable garden. And I don't know if you guys do this, but when you go and you buy some seeds, you see one and then you look over and like, oh, there's another one that's really nice too. And oh, there's another one that's really nice too. And so I ended up getting like a lot of sunflowers. Granted, this is also on top of having a stash of sunflower seeds anyways. But can you really have too many sunflowers? I mean, is that a thing? I don't know. I know that they drop their seeds and the seeds don't do good things for the soil. But if I plant them in the right spots, can you really have too many sunflowers? I'll leave that up to you to decide. In the meantime, I'm going to plant. Okay, so I've got those. I'm going to do just some spreading of seed of dill in the food forest because, remember, I'm trying to pull in those pollinators, and dill is a big deal. Dill is a big deal. Sorry. Okay, I'll stop. And then I got parsley, and if you notice, this is the So Easy brand. This is the only brand for this kind of stuff that I do where I just scatter the seeds. It just gives me a little bit of peace knowing that this is that the seeds are kind of ready to go, even if they land in less than ideal conditions. So if I'm just gonna grab a bunch of seeds and scatter them, unless I grew it myself, like I will be doing with I've got my Tulsi holy basil, I've got tobacco, and then this is skullcap. I'm going to spread these seeds because these are all self-sowers that do really, really well self-sowing. And now that I've got my beds covered with the leaf mold, I'm going to scatter the seeds on top of the leaf mold and kind of shimmy it in just a little bit. But then also, I said those are the only seeds that I do the spreading with, but I also got chives. So these are all things that I really want to have in my garden, just kind of like spread out everywhere in the food forest because one, they're super beneficial for the plants, other plants. They're great for pulling in pollinators, and they're great at deterring pests. And so, and also my husband came in the other day and he was looking at my chives and he said, I love that flower. Those chives are just so beautiful. He doesn't talk like that, but that's my best impersonation. So I used that as my excuse to buy more seeds and plant more of those. So these should be pretty fairly easy-ish to come up on their own. If they don't, that's okay. I've got little seedlings everywhere anyways, but I specifically want the tiger swallowtail butterfly to be attracted to my garden, and that means that I need to provide a lot of larval host plants for them, and parsley and dill and carrots and all those types of plants are the things that those caterpillars thrive on, and is a great larval host for the swallowtail butterfly. So I'm just gonna start scattering, and there we go. Every day there's a hawk. I think the sound of the hawk strikes more fear in my heart than it does my chickens, and definitely more than my ducks. Now I'm gonna spread my seed of tobacco and my kids. tobacco, skullcap, and what was the other one? Tulsi. And Tulsi. I'll do a whole video at some point on why I grow tobacco, how I grow tobacco, and how awesome it is. We don't smoke the tobacco, but tobacco is really good for the garden and for other things. But that's for another video. Recently had surgery, the kind of surgery that a little boy kitty has to have, so he can't make more little babies or kitties. And so I'm totally cool with him hanging out in my catnip bed because he deserves it. They are moving the chicken coop to the little flat area into the hill that my father-in-law dug the other day. It's very exciting. So, I went to go change my outfit because I realized what I was wearing was very dark. And where I'm going to work right now is up on the bee hill. So rather than have my bees see me as a bear, potentially, I am going to dress more like a flower. So we're going with white and orange, very light colors. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up, not all the way because it's a big wheelbarrow and it's a very steep hill, but I'm going to fill up a wheelbarrow with compost, like the really good stuff that we made. And I'm gonna dig holes on the bee hill, and I'm gonna fill those holes with the compost, and that's where I'm gonna plant my seeds. I hope it's enough, because I know they need a lot of really good stuff, but it's all that I have, and it's the only place that I have room for my beloved potatoes. Pumpkins. I do like potatoes too, though. So, I hope it works. I was reading Farmer Boy to my kids. When I read to them at night, we've been working through Little House on the Prairie. It's a very steep hill. And we read about the part where Almanzo does the milk pumpkin. And my kids are really excited to try that this year. So they're going to pick the one that they want. And they're going to try the milk pumpkin method. And I can keep you guys updated on that for sure. There's a big hill to walk up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. But I'm going to stop now. I'm not going to plant the potato seeds because it's girls' night. Girls' night. That's exciting. I like having bonding time with my girls. So I didn't plant the pumpkin seeds, but I did get all the holes dug. I have 24 rows of 3, which means I'm going to be able to plant 3 plants of each of the different kinds of squash and pumpkins that I have, because that's how many I'm planting this year. This is really my first year that I'm going to be able to plant a pumpkin patch, and this has not just been my dream. This has also been my husband's dream. He's not into the whole gardening thing. I mean, he really appreciates the food and he really appreciates the beauty of it once it's done, like a lot. Like he really loves to come out and sit with me in it. And he finds joy and delight in all the little things that I do. But it's always been a dream of his to have a pumpkin patch too, which I think is very interesting. And I am so excited to facilitate that dream. So that is happening. And so I'm planting 24 different varieties of pumpkins and winter squash. And the idea is, I have no idea what kind of things grow well here. And I don't know what kind that we like the most. And so I'm going to plant 3 plants of each. And then we'll just see what does well. And we'll see what we like. We see what stores well, what bakes well, stuff like that. And then the years following, I can focus more on just planting the ones that were our favorites. So it's a grab bag this year. And in following years, we'll know exactly what we want to plant, hopefully. That's the idea, at least. So I'm excited to tomorrow get those seeds in the ground, get them growing. The hard work is done. Now I'm going to go enjoy my baby girls, who are not so little anymore. They are almost 8 years old. Birthday's coming up near the end of the month, and that's just crazy. It's just crazy. They grow up too fast. So I will see you tomorrow out in the pumpkin field, or the lavender hill, or the bee hill. I don't know what we need to call that thing. Hill of joy. I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow and have a great night. I am so excited. Right behind me is the fence for the chickens. And right here is my basket of seeds. And I waited until evening time because it was like the hottest day of the year so far. And I wanted to plant my seeds in the evening because this is my favorite time to plant. And I've heard from some of you guys that you absolutely agree. You feel the same way. So here I am. There's the lavender hill. Well, side of the hill. The bees are up there behind me. And right here, this is where I dug those holes. I have a bucket that's full of compost. I don't have enough compost to do the wheelbarrows like I did before to fill in the holes. But I'm hoping that maybe a handful or 2 will be enough to get these pumpkins off the right way. And I'll just keep watering them with duck poop water. So I'm gonna plant my pumpkins finally. And there's a video about, well, I think there's like 3 videos about how I thought I could plant pumpkins, but then I couldn't, so I had to start the fence, the whole fence ordeal, and then putting in the gates which ended up giving me like this ginormous gash on my arm. And from fencing, you know, isn't it funny that I got cut doing the gates doing the gates, putting those in with fencing, rather than when I actually like was putting the fence up on the hill. I thought that was funny. But I might not get to all the pumpkins tonight because I did wait until it's a little bit later. It's cooler. I spent some time with my kids and my husband, and we're just enjoying the day together. And then there was some mischief that the kids got into that I had to handle, and so I'm out here a little bit later than I would have wanted to, but it's really perfect out right now. So if I could just keep it this temperature, this light ambiance, for like the next 3 hours, I totally would. But that's not how the world works. But that's okay. It just makes these moments a lot more precious. So I'm gonna start planting my pumpkins. I have 24 varieties, I believe, 24 or 23 varieties. And I have this equal amount of holes, and then 3 deep. So I've got 23 or 24 rows, if you count the rows going this way, and then there's 3 across of each of them. So I'm going to be able to do 3 of each of my different types of varieties of pumpkins and winter squash. And so I've got just absolutely wonderful ones that I'm ready to get in the ground. And I need to stop talking because the light, I'm losing it, and I want to plant my pumpkins. Okay, so here we go. And now it's done. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you sticking with me through this because it has taken a lot of effort to get these pumpkins in the ground, and I could not be more excited. I hope you stick with me. Hit that notification bell so that as these pumpkins grow and this whole hillside turns into our own private pumpkin patch, that you can be along for the ride and enjoy our journey as well, hopefully. Hit the like and subscribe button if you would, please, and have a wonderful night, and God bless.